podcast.
Woo.
Welcome to All Out Crime Machine. That's Aaron. That's Max. That's Josh on the screen right there. He's from Liberty University.
Actually, hear my face.
We can hear your face.
We can hear your face and see your voice. It's delightful.
And we can see your dorm room in the totally not pro-Trump Liberty University.
Totally not pro-Trump Liberty University.
0% pro-Trump.
0%. Jerry Falwell
actually
hates
not
Trump.
I ran an exit poll.
Did you?
We only gave him 7% of our vote here.
Well, that's good. I'm glad the student.
So it's just the leadership that's pro-Trump.
So it's just Mr. Falwell.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Falwell Jr.
Okay, Josh, we'll stop giving you a hard time.
All
now.
right. Josh actually has the floor again because he's a very smart individual and we love him and all the ladies love him. Look at that hair. Go, Josh.
Well, you're making comments about my hair. Okay. Enough Justin Bieber shenanigans. Let's get down to business here. Actually, Justin Bieber is a great place to start. Thank you for that, Casey.
You're welcome.
One of the interesting things that I read recently was this blog post. This guy was talking about how Christianity doesn't always look like what you think it should look like. And it's an excellent blog post, and we should probably put a link to it in the video description for people to go check out.
We will.
Later on.
We will absolutely do that.
That will be down below.
It's really, really good. So
As the Green Brothers would say, it's in the doobly-doo. Because that's funny and we're whores. I mean, what?
Yeah, we're not pirating everything.
We're not trying to grab audiences from other people. No, totally not. Okay, go, Josh.
Okay, so here's the main point is Christianity doesn't always look like what you think it should look like.
Yes.
And this is a message not to people, well, it's kind of a message to people in the rest of culture who aren't Christian, but it's also a message to Christians themselves.
Yeah.
People who think that Christianity has to look exactly like one particular narrow definition. He's got a girlfriend, and they don't have sex, and like they are gonna get married, and they're gonna live happily ever after. And he's gonna have a wonderful job in ministry where he's like singing on stage and with a microphone, and he lives this perfect Christian life.
Hold on, Josh. Wait, we lost you for half a second. Start over.
I do like how you're defining box Christianity, though. By the way, box Christianity. AKM said it first.
Well, we might not have said it first, but we're coining the term.
Yeah.
It'll be a thing. But anyway, okay, so start over from the entire beginning.
No, where you started ranting about what the box
is.
What the box of Christianity is.
So it's this guy, like I said, he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't he doesn't have tattoos, he doesn't swear, he has this girlfriend, he's straight, he's got like 3 beautiful little kids and they're perfect children, and he takes them to Sunday school and they all go to church every week and so on and so forth. And he's got this Bible study in his home, and he's a worship pastor, and he like gets up on stage and sings under the pretty lights, and they've got like fog machines and lasers and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that's like your picture.
I want to go to that church with fog machines and lasers.
And you'll never find him at a bar. You would never, ever, ever find him at a strip club, God forbid.
Oh, no.
You would never find him sitting in a movie theater watching anything higher than PG-13, because that, unless it's The Passion of the Christ, he can watch that. That's okay.
Because religious torture porn is okay.
Yeah, religious torture. He would never see Deadpool. We totally watched Deadpool. It was great.
Yeah, okay, so by now you're thinking to yourself, man, these AKM guys, they are not that. You're damn right. We're not that.
Nope.
I would hope that we're not that.
Hey, Josh, would you
For one thing, if we were all worship leaders, churches would be empty. We suck at
they do. They suck.
Hey now.
Great. Oh man, we're gonna be pushing
Sorry, we cut you off there, Josh.
Can I just cut in real quick, actually?
Go for it.
So one thing I have noticed, and I can't say this for all families like the one Josh pointed out, but all of the perfect Christian families are all super broken and have a lot of problems.
Yes.
Because like pastors' kids are always looked on as like, oh, they're the perfect child. They know exactly what they're doing. And they've got
actually,
exactly
pastors' kids I've noticed have one of 2 problems, and I know this because I know both of these types of pastor kids. They either end up super rebellious and broken, or they end up as the most stuck-up, pretentious people on the planet. I'm related to the latter, and I'm good friends with the former. And honestly, I get along better with the former than the latter.
Oh, yeah. I guess
Self-righteousness is not an attractive trait.
No.
That's kind of the entire message of this podcast tonight. Is
Basically.
that yes, we're Christian people, but we're actual people.
Oh, yeah. Okay, since we're talking about Christianity, let's get the foundation laid here. So what does it what it means to be a Christian is this, at least outlined from the Bible, is you believe that Jesus is the Christ, God incarnate, the Son of God, part of the Trinity, and I think that's a core doctrine personally. You believe that he died, was buried, and rose again on the third day for our sins. That's the core of Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's what it means to believe. That is what it means in a sense to be a Christian. Now, there are some semantical differences. You could say that that's what it means to be saved, and then being Christian is the lifestyle that follows.
But that's more or less kind of the Webster definition of what Christianity would be.
Because the strict definition of the word means little Christ or follower of Christ. So that would mean living the lifestyle. And then with that foundation out of the way, not out of the way, laid. It's very important. I want to build on that a little bit. And that's, let's look at the actual lifestyle. I've studied a year in Bible college. It's very foundational, a little lighter on some of the stuff I would have liked. I would have liked to have studied apologetics and the intellectual pursuit side of
apologetics.
it. I like apologetics. He doesn't.
And that's where we differ.
Where we differ.
One of the places.
That's okay, though.
You're both heretics. That's
the takeaway. We're both heretics.
Just kidding.
At least, okay, here's the way I see the lifestyle that you're supposed to live as a Christian. In America, there's the stereotype of, again, like we were just talking about, that box family always goes to church on Sunday, never does X, Y, and Z, and that's not how I see it, because we're not supposed to be fake people. In Jesus' ministry, according to the eyewitness accounts of John and Matthew, Jesus did not hobnob with fake people. In fact, he attacked them frequently for their fakery.
And it was pretty great.
Jesus is the most sarcastic and sassy man ever. We read the New Testament when he's dealing with the Pharisees and these somber, and Jesus said, "Go away, you brood of vipers," and it's probably "Go away, you brood of vipers," right? He's very sarcastic and sassy with them, and it's a lot funnier when you understand it in that context. He's funny. Jesus is great.
It's actually kind of tragic in a lot of ways, because the people who think that they don't need any help are the people who need the most help.
Yeah. And it's hard, and they're the hardest to reach, too, because, exactly. the prostitute who's been addicted to drugs and everything and feels trapped, and then, the Christians come along and be like, "Hey, let's get you out of this. Let's help you up. Let's, love on you."
A person like that is intimately acquainted with the brokenness and pain and sorrow in their own life. They know that they are not a perfect person.
Yeah.
Most people who wind up going to... It's people can actually get into this really, really terrible situation where they can sometimes think that they are actually a perfect person. That's terrible. That's
like Donald Trump. Wait, what?
We don't bash Trump. Well, we do bash Trump.
We shamelessly bash Trump. I don't hate the man. I just don't think he should be president.
Yeah. Okay, so back on topic now.
Yes.
Again.
We're all over the place, but that's what makes us fun.
Probably.
If I might add...
We're staying on a pretty good track this time, though. I mean...
Okay. Yeah, if I might add one thing, I think for me specifically, Christianity tends to be very personal in the way that I live my life. It's not necessarily an outward, I'm doing this or not doing that. It's more manifests personally when I'm by myself or with maybe a couple select friends,
At least the religious aspects of it. There's this large part of it where the life of Christ is a model for literally everyone. There are secular people who don't believe that Jesus was actually God, who still follow a lot of his teachings because a lot of the things that he said are actually good for living your life. You should have compassion on other people. It doesn't matter if you're Christian or not. You should have compassion on others.
Absolutely.
That's a basic life principle to live by. And that's not something that's exclusive to Christianity. And Christians who believe it is are part of the problem because they don't have compassion. They don't have any sympathy for people who are trying to have compassion on others without the religious element to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, mentality of exclusivity is kind of
dangerous.
Yeah, no. Christianity is weird. In America, it's weird, and we always joke personally about the Puritans. It's the Puritans. It's really their fault. I mean, I can't say it's their fault, because I imagine Puritanism...
It's more complex than that,
yeah. But... I imagine Puritanism started out much more humble, and it's just like they were trying to live the pure life, right? They're just... They wanted to... out of a genuine love for Jesus and the God of the universe. But over time, generation to generation, these kids... they put it together in their heads, not necessarily correctly, that we need to be perfect. And then just as the generations moved on, they slowly strayed away from their humility and just living their life to please, and genuinely trying to please God, and moved away into, gotta be perfect, rules. Right?
Casey,
they got a big boner for the rules. that big Christian cross-shaped boner for the rules.
Let me just transition out of that real quick. Here's the thing. Getting out of that, getting past that mentality of being all about the rules and all of that, it essentially means you open yourself up to a lot of ways to connect with people that before you didn't have, because you imagined that these rules were what it meant to be Christian. And now that you know that they don't, it's kind of like waking up one morning and going, you know what? I could go down to a bar and meet somebody new. And have a beer.
No. Okay. I want to tell you a quick story. I was in my last.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like, my goodness, the whole world opens up to you because. Yeah.
No. Absolutely. Anyway, one of the Sundays my pastor was teaching, and he was talking about this staunch atheist who became a Christian and kind of left this what we would call a sinful lifestyle. Anyway, and he was talking to his pastor, and he was lamenting, and he was like, the thing I missed most about, before I became a Christian, was going to the bar. Because at the bar, I was a genuine person. And my pastor used that to admonish our entire congregation, be like, guys, we need to be better than the bar down the street, right? And of course, my church, there's one of the largest liquor stores in America right across the street.
It's pretty great, right?
It's so funny. It's funny to watch the Sunday people go straight from church to the liquor store, which actually brings up another thing. That's okay. Okay?
No, it's not, Casey.
I don't...
Alcohol is bad.
Drugs are bad, okay?
My family did that. We were having friends over, and they're all... I wasn't of age at the time. They're all responsible drinkers, so we went and my parents got some drinks, and we all went home and had a great time. It was okay. Mm-hmm. It's okay. Anyway, something else I kind of wanted to find about Christianity. This is something that I actually didn't know for the longest time until I went to Bible school. And that's kind of how Christians are supposed to deal with guilt. This is a huge misconception. A lot, from talking to my non-believing friends, they're under the impression that when you sin, you're supposed to just feel bad for yourself and beat yourself up, and it's... No, you're not... His emphatic...
I'd say a lot of churchgoers are under that impression as well.
That's true. Well, yeah, that's true. That's not the case at all. At least not from my study and my education in it.
I can guarantee from my personal life that is not the case.
Yeah. No, it's not the case. The way I understand it is... And I will back this up eventually in another video because we don't have time to really delve into this too deeply. But all of the sins that are laid out in the New Testament, if you they're there to protect people, and that's why they're there. And I will back that up. I promise. I'm not just going to assert a claim and not
burden of proof. Scott.
I know. I don't have time for that right now. Anyway, all of the sins laid out in the New Testament. If you commit them, they inflict damage on yourself or the people around you, those that you love. That's why they're sins, right? They're not just bad. They're not rules. Anyway, how I understand it from the Bible is this: if you sin, it doesn't change anything about your status on going to heaven. If you believe that Jesus is the Christ, Son of God, God incarnate, Trinity stuff, died, buried, rose again. If you believe that, you're going to heaven, period, end of story. Nothing in this world can take that away from you. Ever. It doesn't matter. Even if you stop believing and then go on a murderous spree. It's tragic. Don't do that. You're going to lose all of your reward in heaven. Other deep theological stuff we'll talk about later. Anyway, that's always a weird example that people freak out about. It's very unlikely. That is the salvation moment. Anything after that, I lost myself. I got lost, guys! Anyway, how you're supposed to respond to sin when you mess up, when you make a mistake, is you're supposed to kind of forgive your current relationship with God, right? Or ask for forgiveness from God for your in a relational way, not a salvational way. There's two different kinds of things there. Like because God's a person. He's not some force
weird to think about, but you're right.
Yeah, he's a person. He has emotions and feelings. When you screw up, it hurts him just like it hurts, your friends. Like, did that hurt you, Aaron?
Ow.
Yeah, see, that hurts him. But now that hurts our relation too, because I just hit him. So I have to go, Aaron,
Casey,
I'm sorry
you're
I hit
abusive.
you. I know. Aaron, I'm sorry I hit you. Will you forgive me? Right?
Nah.
I know. So now our relationship's a mess and he didn't forgive me. Anyway, no. Because when it comes to dealing with God, you go to him and be like, God, I'm sorry I did this. It hurt you. It hurt me. It hurt everybody, or even just yourself. Right? And God says, that's okay. I love you. I'm here for you. And that's how we're supposed to deal with guilt. It's supposed to be a motivator to improve, not something where you pity party, I'm such a screw up and I hate myself. It's a big temptation for us to do that, but I don't know. That got really rambly and I'm sorry.
I will say something also for the benefit of our viewers. If you disagree with this or come from a different background or anything like that, we've all pretty much grown up in this background all of our lives.
Oh yeah, none of us.
So if you disagree, feel free to disagree. We're fully in support of that.
Yeah,
in fact, put it in the comments to send us hate.
Actually, if you really
don't flame war, but disagree.
I think,
I was kidding.
Given that we as a group of people have a lot of opinions that are kind of looked down on. If you want to rebut us, make a video, cite your sources, or do your research, cite your sources, and
because otherwise we'll call you an idiot.
Well,
I largely want to. I'm weary of the YouTube comment section because I feel like that's where we're gonna get all of the "go die in a hole, you're worthless people, kill yourself" type comments, and I don't.
Yeah.
Given that there are reports that a lot of YouTubers have been diagnosed with clinical depression from this kind of stuff, I don't want to put these guys or Josh in that environment. I mean, I don't want us to have to wade through the hate comments, and that's why we're setting up the video rule. That's why I want to set up the video rule. If you want to respond to us, be respectful, do your research, cite your sources, and we'll have a dialogue. We're totally open to dialogue. We want to talk to you guys. That's part of the end goal of this media project, is to really be about discussion and all that stuff. So
about that First Amendment thing that we Americans like to talk about.
I do love the First Amendment.
I hope I get
Anyway, back on topic.
Sorry.
This podcast is probably going to be a little longer. Sorry. Go, Josh.
One last point that I'd like to make here, if we have time. What are we at?
18. We're okay. We're okay.
Fine.
We're good. Make a point.
All right. So one more thing here. Part of what Casey's saying. I mean, we're open and accepting to criticism and comments, and the reason for that is that we know that we don't have everything right. That's another part of what makes our Christianity, our brand of it, in some sense different, I guess, because there are a lot of people out in the world who have one particular idea of Christianity, and they seem to think, for whatever reason, that is the only one. That's the only correct one, that's all you can ever do, really. And we know that that's not true, and we're always looking for ways to improve the way that we do things. We're willing to follow the truth and agree with it wherever we find it. Even if that's in some kind of secular textbook. Even if I read something in Hitler's Mein Kampf, which is actually true, I want to accept that truth, even though it came from Hitler's Mein Kampf, basically.
And I found truths about kind of...
I don't expect to find anything there.
No, well, Aaron's kind of experienced this more than I have. Christians... The conservative Christian community really doesn't like Eastern philosophy or anything.
Not at all.
No, and it's really silly because when Eastern philosophy echoes a Christian principle, but they hear that it was said by an Eastern philosopher, they'll just reject it outright, and it's like.
But Jesus said that.
Yeah, it's like Jesus affirmed that truth.
I've personally found lots of different methods for dealing with life and bettering myself as a person in books like the Tao Te Ching, or I butchered that pronunciation, I'm sorry. But the Tao and other Eastern types of works, have a lot of good advice for how to better
the
yourself.
Bible is an Eastern work.
Well, yeah.
It's
Middle Eastern.
It's Mid-Eastern.
But
It's
still,
basically the same thing.
So yeah, that's kind of an interesting contention point, because there are a lot of people who even say that yoga is like sinful
That's weird.
because it's of Eastern
Well, no, that's
descent.
because of yoga pants.
Okay, yoga
But
pants.
yoga pants are brilliant. They're wonderful. Let's be honest here.
I don't really like them. I think they're.
Lust, you guys.
What's that, Josh?
But they cause us to lust after our sisters in Christ, and we can't have that.
I mean, if you're going to, you're probably going to anyway, though. Am I wrong?
Oh goodness! All right, let's be done. Thank you for watching All Out Carbon Machine.
Many topics to be discussed.
Many
in the
topics
future.
to be discussed. We promise we will. Any assertion that we've made, we will back it up later. We simply don't have time in our weekly podcasts. We're going to be doing live streams eventually. Thanks for watching. Bye. It's not.